to capitulate his story to pitch it to everybody to make it sound like he's a hip person.
Do you know
Yeah.
Mama Ivy?
I do. That's complicated. And it's so complicated. Yeah, I know who that is. But there was a specific thing that happened between me and Jeff that kind of like broke us up. He threatened to report me to the FBI. And
That's really common.
yeah,
Did he mention that he knows the mayor?
I thought it wasn't him threatening you to report you to the FBI.
yeah, there was a guy that had come on my panel and he porn bombed me. And I was like,
oh, the
no.
FBI on that guy.
Yeah, and then he was like talking to me privately, and he said, "You need to report him." You know, and I'm like, "Well, I deleted the stream, and I'm definitely not going to let him up on the panel again." So, and I know him, and he's just an idiot, So he doesn't mean anything. And he was like, "No, you can't let him. You can't let him get away with this. That's assault,
right?
And you have to report this." And I'm like, "I'm not going to report him to any place. I'm not going to report him to the FBI." And he was like, "Well, if you don't, you'll be held responsible, and I'll be forced to report you and him to the FBI." And I busted out laughing because he was playing.
Fucking
I thought he was playing with me, and I said, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yes." And he goes, "If you don't report him, I'll report him, or I'll report you and him. You'll be responsible."
Jeez.
And so, okay, all right, this is bad.
Wow.
This is really bad, y'all. This is bad. This is something I did that was horrible. He went on the next live with me, and then I let the guy that porn bombed me come into the chat, and then Jeff's like DMing me like, "Why are you letting him in the chat? Why are you?" And I'm like, I don't, I guess I forgot to ban him. I didn't forget to ban him, but anyway. Then there was this account that rolled into the chat. It had like a picture of a kid with a cigarette in his mouth, and next to it, it said underage kid. And then Jeff like freaked out. And then I was like, and it started like trolling the shit out of Jeff. And it would say stuff like, I was over at Jeff's house last night. Jeff is, like a PDF. And I mean, it was saying some pretty messed up stuff, but it was the point was, I'm quite sure that wasn't an underage kid. That was a troll. And Jeff was like, "You need to delete that. Or you need to ban that right away." So every time I would ban it or somebody would ban it, it would come up like underage kid backup would roll into the chat and then start saying it again. And then, it just kept going. And Jeff was like, "Listen up." He was like, "If you don't get a control over this, there won't be us." And I was like, "Well, it is what it is." So that's me and Jeff.
He said there won't be an us.
Yeah, well, Jeff was, he said we were an item, and I mean it's true. I was talking to him, like trying to get to know him and stuff, and but yeah, and so that's kind of the place where me and Jeff had a falling out. But I've never in my life ever had anybody to threaten to call the FBI on me. Like that's